I didn't think my life would split clean in two over something as stupid as a traffic stop. But that's the thing about moments like this, you never see them coming. You just feel the ground drop out from under you and suddenly you're not who you were 5 minutes ago. It started on a Tuesday night, nothing dramatic, just me driving home after a late shift, tired. Hungry, radio low, mind drifting. I'd worked double shifts all week fixing HVAC units in old buildings where nobody ever says thank you, where you're invisible until something breaks. I was used to being overlooked, talked down to treated like I didn't belong in certain places. You learn to swallow that early, keep your head down, keep moving. So when the red and blue lights lit up my rearview mirror, I sighed more than anything. You know that feeling, right? Not fear, yet, just annoyance like, here we go again. I checked my speed under the limit. Car's fine. I pulled over, engine off, hands on the wheel, everything I'd been taught to do. The officer walked up slow. Too slow. Flashlight right in my face like he was trying to see through me. License and registration. I told him where it was, glove box, asked if it was okay to reach. He didn't answer. He just stared, jaw tight, eyes cold. I reached anyway, slow, careful. That's when his hand hit the door. Hard. Don't move. Next thing I know, I'm yanked out of the car, spun around, shoved against the hood. My chest hit metal, breath gone. I didn't resist. I didn't argue. I kept saying, "Sir, what's going on?" "Your taillight's out," he snapped. "It's not," I said, quiet, calm. I checked it. That was the wrong thing to say. His forearm pressed into my neck, heavy, deliberate. Not losing control, not panicking, just punishing. I remember thinking, this is happening. This is really happening. He said I was resisting. I wasn't. He said I was aggressive. I wasn't. Then he swept my legs and I hit the ground hard. The world rang like a bell. The baton came out. I won't drag you through every hit, but I'll tell you this: when you're on the ground and someone with authority decides you're less than human, time stretches. You notice details you shouldn't. The gravel biting your cheek. The sound of your own breath turning ragged. The way pain stops being sharp and just becomes everything. I didn't scream. I didn't beg. I counted. I memorized. Badge number. Name tag. The way his voice sounded when he wasn't pretending to be professional anymore. When the cuffs went on, I tasted blood. He leaned close and said, "You should have known better." That stuck with me. At the station, they charged me with resisting arrest and possession. Possession of something I'd never seen before. I asked for my phone call. He laughed, told me to call my buddy. So I did. I didn't call a lawyer. I called my mom. She worked 2 jobs my whole life, raised me to believe in rules and doing things right. When she heard my voice cracked and shaky, she went silent. Then she said, "Stay calm. Don't say anything else." She showed up an hour later with a lawyer I'd never met, a community guy, tired, eyes, sharp mind. He took one look at me and said, "This is bad, but not hopeless." But that was the first time I felt something shift. The officer wrote his report like a fantasy novel. I attacked him. I lunged. I threatened. It was all clean on paper. Too clean. What he didn't know was the dash cam. He'd turned off his body cam, sure, but the car was still recording. He never checked. When my lawyer saw the footage, he didn't smile. He just nodded slowly and said, "Okay, now we fight." Court took months. Months of waiting, of reading comments online, of seeing my name dragged through local news like I was already guilty. Friends stopped calling. Some family members told me to just settle. I thought about it. I really did. Because fighting meant reliving everything over and over. But settling meant accepting that he was right. That I should have known better just for existing. So I didn't settle. In court, he sat there in uniform, confident, relaxed, like the room belonged to him. When he looked at me, it was the same look from the street, like I was something he'd scraped off his boot. Then the video played. You could hear the room change. Not noise, not gasps, just tension. The kind that makes your ears buzz. They saw me comply. They saw him escalate. They saw the baton. They saw the moment he slipped something into my pocket. His lawyer objected. The judge shut it down. Then came witnesses. A doctor explained my injuries. Not consistent with a struggle. Consistent with a beating. Targeted. Deliberate. When the officer took the stand, he tried to explain fear. tried to say he felt threatened. The prosecutor asked him, threatened by what? He said by his behavior. What behavior? Silence. Then he said it. The thing he probably thought everyone would understand. People like him don't act right when they're driving cars like that. The room froze. That sentence cost him everything. The verdict didn't take long. Guilty. On all counts. Abuse of authority. Falsifying reports. Civil rights violations. I didn't feel happy. I felt empty. Like a storm had passed and left debris everywhere. Sentencing came later. Prison time, loss of pension. Civil judgment that wiped him out. People asked me if I felt like I'd won. Here's the truth. Winning doesn't erase trauma. It doesn't give you back the nights you wake up sweating. It doesn't stop you from flinching when you see lights behind you. But it does something else. It puts a line in the ground. It says, this wasn't okay. This won't just disappear. I went back to work. Same job, same buildings, but something was different. I stood straighter. I spoke up. I stopped apologizing for taking up space. A year later, I started volunteering with a local legal aid group helping people who couldn't afford to fight. I didn't plan it. It just felt necessary. Sometimes I still think about him. Not with anger, not with satisfaction. Just with clarity. He thought power meant control. I learned power is endurance. So here's my question for you. If you were in my place, would you have fought knowing the cost, or would you have walked away to protect your peace? And if you've ever seen something like this happen, something wrong, brushed aside because it was easier, did you speak up? Or did you look away? Drop your thoughts in the comments. This conversation matters more than you think.